Hello, and welcome to the My Heart and Mind podcast, where it's all about creating the feel-good mindset so you can make the most of every moment and reap the benefits of getting the most happiness out of life. And now, over to your host, Sallie Crawley.
If you've had a heart attack, heart surgery, or a cardiac arrest, or your life has been changed by a cardiac diagnosis, this space is for you. This podcast is about more than surviving. It's about gently rebuilding trust in your body, steadying your mind, and learning how to live well again, even with everything you've been through. Together, we'll explore the emotional side of heart recovery, the fear, the fatigue, the what-ifs, and how to work with your thoughts, feelings, and nervous system so you can make the necessary lifestyle changes, feel calmer, stronger, and more like yourself again. Take a breath. You're safe here. Hello and welcome back to my podcast. And it's a welcome too if this is your first time. I'm really pleased that you're all here and I hope that you're doing really well, even with the motorbike going off in the background. I'm not sure if you can hear that or not. Actually, there might be a few other background sounds today because I've got my dog under my desk. So you might hear her snoring a little bit or maybe the odd bark, but I'll try to make sure that I can edit any barking out. So let's get on with today's show, shall we? Have you ever felt torn between two conflicting emotions or desires? Perhaps you're grateful for your recovery, but you still struggle with anxiety about the future. Or maybe you're excited about all the possibilities of a healthier lifestyle, but at the same time you're frustrated by its limitations. Today, we're going to be diving into a powerful mindset shift that can help you navigate these complex feelings. It's called both and thinking. No one really prepares you for this part of the cardiac recovery. Yes, there's the physical healing, the sternum, the scar, the breathlessness, the fatigue. But many people, the deepest pain shows up quietly in day-to-day life. The anxiety that flares up every time your heart rate rises, the fear that exercise might do more harm than good, the grief that comes with changing how you eat, drink, socialise, or even how you relax. The mental exhaustion of monitoring symptoms and medications, and the frustration of being told you're doing well while feeling anything but well. You might be following the diet advice and secretly missing out on your comfort foods. And you might know exercise is good for your heart and feel terrified every time you try. Or you might find that you know that exercise again is good for you, but it's so much harder to get yourself going. You might even be relieved to have survived and struggling with low mood, panic, or a sense of loss. This inner conflict is exhausting, and it often creates a second layer of suffering, the belief that you shouldn't feel this way. This is exactly where both and thinking can begin to ease the emotional pain of recovery. It doesn't take the challenges away, but it stops you fighting yourself when you face them. Our lives need to be so much easier nowadays. After having a cardiac event, whether it be a heart attack or heart surgery or cardiac arrest, or even a diagnosis, it still is a huge impact and makes massive changes on your life. If you've ever found yourself thinking, I should feel grateful, so why do I feel scared, angry, or exhausted? And I guess, a bit like me, there are many people around you that tell you that you should be feeling grateful and really glad to be living life. But I want you to know this straight away. Nothing has gone wrong, and the way you're feeling and thinking is normal for heart recovery. Living with and beyond a cardiac event isn't just healing the heart muscle. It's about making sense of everything that comes with it. The shock, the grief, the relief, the fear, the hope, and the sheer effort of rebuilding a life that suddenly looks different. And this again is where the both and thinking becomes one of the most powerful tools you can carry with you. It might take a little bit of thinking about and a little bit of effort to change, because we have one way of thinking all the time. Trying to learn to think a different way is like a new habit that you'll be learning. So what is both and thinking? In plain English, I guess you're asking me to say it. Most of us were taught to think in either or terms, black and white, such as I'm coping or I'm not. I'm positive or I'm negative. I'm strong or I'm weak. But recovery doesn't work like that. Both and thinking allows for two things to be true at the same time, without one cancelling the other out. You can be grateful and grieving. You can be doing well and yet still struggling. You can be hopeful and at the same time feel scared stiff. This isn't about sitting on the fence. It's emotional maturity. And after a heart event, it's often essential. After surgery or a heart attack or a cardiac arrest, many people feel lots of pressure. Pressure from others, their family, their friends, or from themselves, or from both. By saying, stay positive, be grateful you're alive, move on now, is going to make you feel better. But when we force ourselves into either or thinking, that black or white, on or off, difficult emotions don't just disappear. They go underground. That's when we see things like anxiety that won't settle, guilt for not feeling thankful enough, anger that feels totally unacceptable, emotional shutdown. Both and thinking gives those emotions somewhere safe to exist. And from a psychological point of view, this mindset actually really helps a lot. It reduces emotional stress on the nervous system. It builds up self-compassion instead of self-criticism. It improves your emotional regulation, increases resilience during setbacks, and supports a long-term mental well-being. In simple terms, it takes the pressure off your heart, emotionally and physical, and we all know that stress is one of our risk factors. So, both and examples for life after a cardiac event. I suppose you're wondering what these might be. But these are some real everyday examples that I hear again and again. I use myself. And I'm going to run through a list of, I think it's 12 or 13. See which ones lands best for you. I'm grateful to be alive, and I'm angry this happened to me. Gratitude doesn't erase trauma. Both deserve space. I'm recovering well, and I'm scared it could happen again. Fear after a cardiac event is normal. It's not a failure of mindset. And if you're interested, there's a video that I have created. I can't remember what it's called, but basically it's navigating cardiac anxiety. I'll drop a link to it in the show notes and on my website. You might want to watch that. The next one is, I want to be healthier and I miss my old life. Lifestyle changes often involve grief, that feeling of losing something, your life before. That doesn't mean that you're unmotivated, though. You're allowed to grieve. I'm stronger than I realise, and some days I feel completely worn out. Strength doesn't cancel out fatigue, especially cardiac fatigue. I trust my medical team, and I still feel anxious between appointments. Reassurance and anxiety often coexist. I'm proud of how far I've come, and I wish recovery was faster. It's definitely one that I say to myself. Progress doesn't mean impatience disappears. Exercise is helping my heart, and it sometimes scares me, and I find it hard. Fear of exertion is incredibly common and very much understandable. I love my family and the support they give me, and I need space to process this alone. Needing space isn't rejection, it's regulation. I look fine on the outside, and I'm still healing on the inside. Invisible recovery is still recovery. I'm learning my limits, and I don't like having them. Acceptance doesn't mean approval. I'm hopeful about the future, and I feel vulnerable in my body. Hope doesn't remove body-based fear. We can all allow ourselves to be scared, but also look forward to the future. I'm doing everything right, and I still have bad days. Bad days are not evidence of failure at all. They're just part of everyday living. You had them before your cardiac event. You're going to have them again now. And finally, my heart saved my life, and it changed my life forever. Both can be true and often are. So now I've run through that list of all of the potential thoughts that include the both and thinking that you might have. Hopefully some of them have resonated with you. Some of them hopefully make sense and they'll allow you to be a little bit kinder to yourself. But how do you practice both and thinking? So it's not about forcing yourself to think differently. It's just really starting off with noticing. So listen to what you say to yourself in your head. That's called thinking, not talking to yourself. Or even if you do talk to yourself out loud. And what you say to others. Listen out for words like should, shouldn't, must, only, and always. And when you do, try adding in the and then finishing that sentence. That's a really good place to start. It might seem a little bit lumpy and bumpy at the beginning of doing it, but it really does focus the mind when you listen for those words particularly, because you do know that they are part of that black and white thinking. Another idea is to use journaling as a safe place to practice. It's a good idea to just start with trying out this sentence. Again, I'll make sure that it's on my website and in the show notes. Part of me feels blank. You fill in there whatever it is that you're feeling. And then continue with, and another part of me feels blank. And then you can fill in something that's a little bit more gentler and a little bit more kinder. So you could try filling it in something along these lines. Part of me feels that I must go to the family gathering. And another part of me feels tired. It's okay. You can go to the family gathering and you are allowing yourself to feel tired. You don't have to feel like the life and soul of the party. There is no fixing required at all. How you feel physically and emotionally is perfect for you. Another way of achieving this is to slow the nervous system first. Both and thinking works best when your body feels safer. Breathing, grounding, gentle movement like yoga or Tai Chi all help your brain to tolerate complexity. And practice self-compassion, not positivity. Everything in this world is think positive, be positive, say only positive words. But you don't need silver linings. It's all very well being positive, but sometimes rubbish things really happen. So you just need kindness and to be kind to yourself. And then share with other people who actually get this. Join a community and let them know how you're feeling. Tell people, share it with people. It reduces shame. You're not meant to do this alone. You are allowed to feel and think with complex feelings and thinkings. So hopefully you have got some idea about what I'm talking about and about both and thinking. And the final word from me today on this is heart recovery is not a straight line. It's not neat and tidy, and I'm sure most of the scars that you have aren't either. And it's certainly not emotionally simple. Both and thinking gives you permission to stop arguing with yourself. You don't have to choose between gratitude and grief. You don't have to pick strength or vulnerability. You get to be human and healing. If this all resonated with you, I'd love you to reflect on one place in your recovery where you've been forced in an either or and gently offer yourself a both and instead. Your heart has already done something extraordinary. Now your mind deserves the same compassion. And now it's time for me to remind you that you are loved more than you will ever know. You are admired by more people than you'd ever expect. You are worthy of joy, happiness, and adoration. You are one of a kind, unique and priceless. You are the only one that can be you. Be proud. Be bold. Be you. Catch you soon. And as we say goodbye, a quick but important reminder. This podcast is intended to support and complement your medical care. It is not a replacement. I'm not providing medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. If you have any concerns about your heart, your health, or any other symptoms that you're experiencing, please seek the advice from your GP, cardiologist, or emergency services immediately. Always listen to your body and always follow the guidance of your healthcare team.